Locked away in a vault beneath Miskatonic University lies a book so dangerous, reading a single page can unravel your sanity, the Necronomicon, a grimoire of rituals to summon beings that defy reality itself. They say its creator, Abdul Alhazred, was found mutilated in the sunlit streets of Damascus, his flesh shredded as if clawed from the inside. Witnesses swore they saw invisible hands dragging him away, screaming in languages that burned the ears. But long before that day, long before his final madness, the man had already split open the veil between this world and something else. He called himself the Mad Arab, though his madness was no accident. It was earned through long nights beneath forgotten stars, in deserts where the sand moved without wind, chanting before pillars no empire had built. There, he claimed, the knowledge came to him. Not in dreams, but in commands. Commands from voices beneath the earth, from things older than the gods. He obeyed. The Necronomicon was the result, a tome bound in cured human flesh, its pages etched with ink made from crushed bone and unknown bile. The text is not fixed. It shifts, slides, and sometimes writhes, alive in the most literal sense. Scholars describe entire chapters that disappear if you blink too long, or words that rearrange themselves into sentences you were afraid to ask. One such scholar, Dr. Elias Gruner, had been cataloging forbidden texts in the restricted wing when he stumbled upon a reference buried in a 14th century copy of the Corpus Hermeticum. It spoke of the blind ones who slumber behind the lattice of light, waiting for the calling of the rightful tongue. Gruner, brilliant but arrogant, became obsessed. His notes, confiscated later, reveal weeks of insomnia, compulsive diagramming, and repeated self-mutilation. One passage reads, "I have finally mapped the angles. The ritual is not language, it is geometry of pain." What he attempted next remains classified in the university's internal tribunal records, sealed from public view. But fragments from first responders, as well as an anonymous student recording that leaked briefly to the dark web, tell enough. The ritual took place in the sub-basement. Gruner carved concentric runes into the cement using his own teeth. He placed mirrors, 16 of them, angled not to reflect, but to collapse the field of vision. When he began to chant, fluorescent lights above shattered in unison. Gravity changed. One guard described it as feeling sideways. Then came the tearing. Not of cloth. Not of wall. But of space itself. A line opened, not black, not light, but absence. Something poured through, not walking, but unfolding. Witnesses later called it a presence of limbs that had no ends. Others went mad at the sight. One woman clawed her eyes out, muttering, they weren't eyes. They were keys. Gruner's body did not rupture. It inverted. Bones spiraled outward. His torso pulsed like a heart outside the cage. Skin unfolded like paper catching fire in reverse. Observers reported time slowing. Not metaphorically, clocks stopped. Voices distorted. One brave fool tried to speak to it. His tongue turned to smoke. And then, quiet. Total silence. In that stillness, a single drop of thick black oil fell from the ceiling. It landed on a page of the Necronomicon, and the text beneath it rearranged itself. What it said has never been shared publicly. What followed was stranger. The walls began to breathe. Not tremble. Breathe. As if the building had grown lungs. And then came the symbols. Lines of glyphs appeared in blood across the walls and floors, sigils that had never existed before, etched in a script that resembled neither Greek nor Aramaic but something deeper, more primal. That's when the walls started bleeding symbols. That's when Miskatonic ordered the vaults welded shut. But even that might not have been enough. A librarian working the night shift months later filed an anonymous report. She heard clicks coming from Vault 7. Rhythmic. Precise. Like fingers tapping. And then, the sound of a lock disengaging, even though no one had touched it. Sometimes, she later confessed, the vault lock clicks by itself. There are rumors now, quiet ones, that the book isn't sealed anymore. That a copy, or perhaps a sliver, was taken. Transmitted. Passed as a pattern through sound, embedded in tones played over unassuming frequencies. That merely hearing the structure of a summoning could make the shapes appear in your dreams. Some believe the entities, the blind ones, still hover, just outside perception, trapped between vibrations, like a skipped frame in film. Occasionally glimpsed in reflections that lag. Or caught in photos with geometry that shouldn't be possible. Fractal spines piercing dimensions. Mouths not on faces, but across skies. Not tentacles. Not wings. Something other. Today, the Necronomicon sits, allegedly, beneath layers of lead-lined glass, submerged in sacred water, guarded by iron rings engraved with chants from lost cultures. No one reads it now. No one dares. But a question lingers. What if the book wants to be read? What if its contents aren't knowledge, but infection? And what if the true horror is not what it reveals, but what it summons within you when you understand it? They say if you stand in Vault 7 long enough, your name begins appearing in its margins.